Tacoma, welcome back to TV Teaching for 2nd grade. Today is Thursday, October 15th. I'm Mrs. Oslin. Before we get started, we're going to check in with our zones. Your zone is the color that's associated with the emotion that you're feeling. Use this chart to help you. If you're not sure what emotion you're feeling, you can always think about what's happening inside your brain. Sometimes when you're tired, your brain might feel kind of foggy. You might have a hard time thinking or focusing. Sometimes if you're really excited about something, your brain might be buzzing and you might have a lot of thoughts about whatever it is that you're excited about. And again, your brain might have a hard time focusing, which means thinking about what I'm asking you to think about. You can also check in with your body and see what your body is doing. If you're feeling tired, your body might feel kind of tight, or you might feel like you just want to lean over on the side of your chair. If you're feeling excited, your body might be kind of shaking or buzzing. You're in the green zone when your mind is clear and focused, when your body is calm and comfortable. Think about what you're feeling and practice using an I message. An I message is used when you're going to express or explain your emotion to someone so that they can understand how you're feeling and help you if you need help or give you space. An I message sounds like, I feel, because, Go ahead and take some think time on your I message. And I'm going to model using an I message to express my emotions with Gus. Gus, I feel excited because we are going to read one of mine and Kevin's favorite books today. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and use your I message. We've been practicing having an attitude of gratitude this week, and this is where we think about the things in our life that make us happy. And we can choose to think about those things to help us get into the green zone, to either give us energy if we're feeling tired, or help calm our thoughts if we're feeling excited or angry. So today, I'm feeling grateful and thankful for all of the wonderful books that all of the people here in Tacoma have helped me get that I can share with you for reading and writing. So take a moment and think about, what are you thankful for? Now, using the I message, I'm thankful for, Go ahead and express your gratitude. Now that we've had an attitude of gratitude to help us get into the green zone and recognize the things that are positive and happy in our lives, we can get started. The materials that you will need for today's lesson are your ELA packet, a pencil, and your learning buddy. I have Gus. You might have another stuffed animal or another person in the room. ELA packet, pencil, learning buddy. You gather those materials and then meet me over at the screen when you're ready. Today, I want to teach you that readers, strong readers, are able to retell, which means tell again, the important parts of a story in sequence. That means that after you read a story, you can tell someone the important parts of the story in the order in which they happen. And we're going to practice this today with one of our favorite books, Interrupting Chicken. You'll remember, Interrupting Chicken was a book all about Chicken, who's trying to go to bed, and his papa, who is reading Chicken a story. But Chicken doesn't like the way the story ends, so they keep interrupting Papa to change the ending of a story. And we talked about how sometimes that's what writers do, is if you hear a story and it's not how you would like it to go, you can change the ending. But when we're retelling a story, we do not want to change the ending. Interrupting Chicken. This is by David Ezra Stein. And then you can see the speech bubbles there where Chicken is saying, "This book is called Interrupting Chicken, right, Papa?" And Papa's saying, "Yes. Now please don't interrupt the story." In your ELA packet, you can find this graphic organizer that's going to help you keep track of the important parts of the story so that you can retell a story after you've done your independent reading today. It says text title at the top, and that's where you'll write the title of your book. And it says stories are told in a sequence and have common elements. That means stories have a lot of the same things about them that will help you retell a story. You're going to use the chart below to assist you in retelling the important parts of any story. We're going to practice this today with Interrupting Chicken, and then you are going to go off and independently read and write your answers in your own words about the story elements. Story elements are the parts of a story. The things that we want to think about, the story elements, are the main character. This is who the story is about. And you want to think about the main character. Who is this story mostly about? The other story element you want to think about is the problem. What problem does the main character have to solve? Most all stories have a main character and a problem. The problem is what makes the story exciting or interesting to read. The other story elements are the plot for the beginning, what happens first to set up the problem, what happens in the middle of the story. This is usually the part that is the happiest or the saddest or the scariest part. And then what happens at the end? How does the story end? How is the problem resolved? And the next part is the resolution. How does the character resolve the problem? So we're going to work through reading Interrupting Chicken, thinking about these story elements, and we're going to practice writing these and speaking these in our own words. Interrupting Chicken. Think about who is the main character. Interrupting Chicken by David Ezra Stein. It was bedtime for the little red chicken. "Okay, my little chicken," said Papa. "Are you all ready to go to sleep?" "Yes, Papa, but you forgot something." "What's that?" asked Papa. "A bedtime story." "All right," said Papa. "I'll read one of your favorites. And of course, you are not going to interrupt the story tonight, are you?" "Oh, no, Papa, I'll be good." So, I want you to think about who is the story mostly about. Take some think time. Now, tell your learning buddy, the story is mostly about, go ahead. Now, who did you say the story is mostly about? Did you say Little Red Chicken? So in your own words, was there anyone else? Papa. Papa's a pretty important part of this story as well. Now that we know who the main characters are, we're going to continue reading, and we're going to think about the problem the character has and what happens at the beginning, the middle, and the end of interrupting Chicken. Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel were very hungry. Deep in the woods, they found a house made of candy. Nibble, nibble, nibble. They began to eat the house until the old woman who lived there came out and said, "What lovely children! Why don't you come inside?" They were just about to follow her when... out jumped the little red chicken and she said, "Don't go in! She's a witch!" So Hansel and Gretel didn't. The end. Chicken. Yes, Papa? You interrupted the story. Try not to get so involved. I'm sorry, Papa, but she really was a witch. Well, you're supposed to be relaxing so you can fall asleep. Let's try another story. I'll be good. Take a minute and think about what is happening in this story. Okay, keep that in mind. Let's keep reading. Little Red Riding Hood. "Take this basket of goodies to Grandma," said Little Red Riding Hood's mother, "but don't stray from the path. The woods are full of danger." Red Riding Hood skipped along through the deep woods. By and by, she met a wolf who wished her good morning. She was about to answer him when... out jumped Little Red Chicken and she said, "Don't talk to strangers!" So Little Red Riding Hood didn't. The end. Chicken. Yes, Papa? You did it again. You interrupted 2 stories. And you're not even sleepy. I know, Papa, I'm sorry, but he was a mean old wolf. Yes, now get back into bed. Okay, Papa, let's try one more little story so I'll be good. Chicken Little. Chicken Little was hit on the head by an acorn. The sky is falling, she thought. She was about to run off and warn Goosey, Lucy, Ducky, Lucky, Henny Penny, and everyone on the farm. The sky was falling when... out jumped a Little Red Chicken and she said, "Don't panic, it was just an acorn." So Chicken Little didn't. The end. Chicken. Yes, Papa? You did it again. Oh, Papa, I couldn't let that little chicken get all upset over an acorn. Please read one more story and I promise I'll fall asleep. But Chicken, said Papa, we're out of stories. Oh no, Papa, I can't go to sleep without a story. So now, we know the main character is the Little Red Chicken and Papa. What problem does the main character have to solve? So think about that. The problem is, turn and tell your learning buddy, what is the problem that Little Red Chicken has to solve? Go ahead. You might have said that Chicken kept interrupting and is now out of stories. So what happens at the beginning to set up the problem? In the beginning, take some think time. Now tell your learning buddy, what happens at the beginning to set up the problem in the story? You might have said that Papa is reading Chicken a bedtime story. Now, what's happening in the middle? Take some think time. In the middle, Now turn and tell your learning buddy, what is happening in the middle of the story? You might have said that in the middle, Chicken is interrupting the stories. Now, as we keep reading, think about how does the story end and how does the character resolve the problem that Chicken kept interrupting and now is out of bedtime stories. Then, said Papa yawning, why don't you tell me a story? Me tell a story? Said the little red chicken. Okay, Papa, here we go. Bedtime for Papa by Chicken. Once there was a little red chicken who put her papa to bed. She read him 100 stories. She even gave him warm milk, but nothing worked. He stayed wide awake all... Papa? And that Z over in the speech bubble means that Papa's sleeping. Good night, Papa. The end. So, how does the character resolve the problem? What happens at the end of the story? Take some think time. Now turn and tell your learning buddy what happens at the end of the story, in the end, and how does the character, Little Red Chicken, resolve the problem that they are out of bedtime stories because they kept interrupting. Hey, you might have said that in the end, Chicken tells a story to Papa. He falls asleep. The resolution, or how does the little chicken solve the problem? Chicken creates her own story with her own ending. Now, you might notice that some of the wording on this document is a little bit different. That's because this came from someone else's thinking. So you are going to do your own thinking. It says write your answers in your own words. It's not going to be exactly like what this author did. So in your ELA packet, you have a blank graphic organizer to help you keep track of what are the important parts of a story and how to retell or tell again a story using the major story elements: main character, problem, beginning, middle, end, resolution. Let's say those together. Put a finger up for each one. Here we go. Main character, problem, beginning, middle, end, resolution. You're going to practice this with your own independent reading texts today. This is your independent work. While you're building your independent reading stamina, practice retelling a story. That will help you better remember and understand what you're reading. This How to Retell a Story document is what I want you to turn in to your teacher, or you could send it here to me at our TV classroom. Second graders, this is your 5-minute break. Take this opportunity to go to the bathroom, get your drink of water, and get some wiggles out before getting back and ready for Mrs. Wally in math. Thank you so much for reading and writing with me today. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Welcome back, second graders. I hope you had a great break. We're going to do What's Missing Thursday. So we're going to try to figure out what's missing in the equation. But before we do that, you need to get your items ready for our lesson. So we're going to be doing graphing again after this. So you don't need counters today, but you do need whiteboard and marker, learning buddy, whether that's your rock or a stuffed animal or someone in your household to talk with while you do your lesson, and yourself. That's it. That's all we need today. So, did I say whiteboard and marker? Oh, I am tired. Are you tired? I'm tired. Let's get going on math. Maybe we'll wake our brains up a little bit. So, what do you notice about this problem? What do we know? We know one of the parts. What else do we know? We know the whole. How would you go about solving this problem? Private think time. When you see a problem like this, how do you solve it? Or do you kind of freeze? Sometimes I freeze when I see these problems. They kind of make me worried because it's not what I'm used to seeing. Let's see if we can figure it out. This problem means 4 plus something is the same as 9. When I say it that way, is it easier to solve? 4 plus something is the same as 9. If I have 4, what is the something? How many do I need to get to 9? Yeah, 5. How can we check this work? I like to call this strategy the underline and dot. You ready? Watch. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many dots are there? 5. I wonder if you have a different strategy. Let's go on to the next one. What's missing? And how do you know? Private think time. What's missing and how do you know? Talk to a learning buddy about it. What is missing? Okay, you know you have 5, and you know you have 14. Let's say it in that sentence. 5 and something makes 14. What do you think it is? 5 and 9? How do you know? Gus, what are you thinking? Gus, you did the underline and dot. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and you got 9. Okay? Did someone else do it a different way? Oh, Pebble said, I know that 5 and 5 more is 10. And then to get to 14, I need 4 more. So 5 and 9 is 14. Yeah? Okay. Oh, I just heard someone say they subtracted because they know when they have a hole in a part, they get the other part. And they said 14 minus 5 equals, and they said, well, I know 14 minus 4 is 10, minus 1 more is 9. Look at all those ways in our brain to figure out what's missing. What's missing? What's missing? You think it's 5? Why do you think it's 5? Why do you think 5 is missing? Oh, you know that 6 plus 6 is 12. 6 plus 6 is 12. And this number is 1 less. So this number needs to be 1 less. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. So if I take 1 from this side, then I have to take 1 from this side, right? Wow. Interesting. 5 plus 6 equals 11. Amazing. Let's see. What's missing? You guys knew that. Nice job, second graders. It's a double. 9 plus 9 is 18. Excellent. Ooh. Pebble, this one always is confusing to me. I see a 20 and then I see a 20 and it kind of jumbles on the page and my brain is like, what is going on? So you have to slow down and say it in a way that makes sense. Let's go back to that sentence. Blank and blank equals 20. And when there's no number, we say something. 20 and something equals 20. If I have 20, what do I need to have 20? Do I need any? What number means nothing? 0. Excellent work, second graders. Let's move on to some graphing. Are you ready? There are blank elephants. There are the most blank. By looking at this, those dotted blues make me think they want me to put numbers there. How would you figure this out? I need to figure out how many elephants there are, and I need to figure out which one is the most. Gus, what do you think? Oh, I should look at my labels? Okay, so if I'm trying to figure out elephants, what label should I be looking for? I should be looking for the word elephant. Okay, let's look. Does the first one say elephant? No. That's zebra, giraffe, monkey, elephant. So I'm going to highlight elephant. That's the one I'm looking for, right? Elephant? Okay. So now what do I figure out? How many elephants? Now, second graders, sometimes you will see a little box that says key, and it'll tell you 1 picture equals 3, and that would mean each picture equals 3. But that's not happening. There's no key on this one. So we can assume that each picture equals 1. So how many elephants are there? How do you know? Because there's 1, 2, 3. We counted 3 of them. There are 3 elephants. Okay, now we're going to go to the next part. I'm going to change my color, and I'm going to go to this color. The next one says there are the most. The most. What does that mean, the most? It's the greatest amount, right? Which picture has the greatest amount? Is it the zebras? I'm going to do something I like to do when I'm working with graphs. I like to put lines at all of the data so I can see which one goes the highest or the lowest. So I'm going to make a line with the zebra. And then I'm going to make a line for the giraffes. And then I'm going to make a line for the monkeys. And then a line for the elephants. Which one is the greatest? Greatest has the most. The monkeys. Let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Monkey. Now I wouldn't put 8. It didn't ask for a number. It wants to know which one. Monkey has the most. Excellent. Okay. Whew. Are you ready? Are you sure? Okay. I'm going to get my highlighter out because when we see story problems and big box of text like this, we need to really read it and think about it. We don't just read it and answer. Mathematicians stop and think. They think and they reason, and then they check their work and make sure it's accurate. So we're going to do that. Let's read it together. Go ahead and read it out loud with me if you'd like. Martin asked the students in his class, "What is your favorite sport?" Freeze. What do you notice about these graphs? They say favorite sports. He makes a picture graph and a bar graph to show his results. How many students does Martin ask? Well, we've got to look at this data for a minute. I want you to just study these graphs. He makes a picture graph and a bar graph to show his results. So he's made a picture graph, and then he took the data from the picture graph and turned it into the bar graph. They're the same data. So we don't need to combine the data from both graphs. It's the same data shown in two different ways. And that's a great thing to look at. It helps us check our thinking. So what do you notice? We're trying to figure out how many students does Martin ask? How do we figure that out? Private think time. What would you do? How would I figure out how many students Martin asks? Turn and talk to a learning buddy. How do you figure that out? What might you try? Mathematicians try and then revise their thinking if it's not right. Sometimes it's hard to try, but you gotta just give it a go. Gus, what are you thinking? Gus said he wants to start by counting how many are in each group of data and write the number on top so we know how many. And Gus said we should check our thinking with the bar graph. Do you want to try that? Let's try it. You count the soccer balls. How many soccer balls are there? And I'm going to do one in each a different color. So I'm going to do green, and then we'll pick the colors. So we're going to do soccer balls. How many soccer balls? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many baseballs? They're actually the bats. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. How many tennis rackets? Oh, I said I was going to do a different color. Hang on. I want to make sure I do that. Let's erase that, because otherwise that's going to make our thinking difficult to see. Woo, that was squeaky. Okay. Here we go. Baseball. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many? 4. Tennis rackets. Tennis. 1, 2, 3. Footballs. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, when second graders see these graphs on problems, they think they're not supposed to write on them and they think they have to keep all the numbers in their head. No, 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 no. Mathematicians write their thinking down. If it's on a screen, you write it down on your piece of paper. You write soccer, 7, baseball, 4. You don't need to keep all those numbers in your head. That's why we always say, how many people have heard a teacher say, make sure to show your work on your scratch paper? That's what we mean. It means we don't need you to hold it all in your head. Work it out on the paper and then find the answer, okay? So let's check our math and make sure that we have the right numbers. So we're gonna go to green. Soccer is at 7. Yes? Okay. Baseball is at 4. Yep. Tennis is at 3. Excellent. And football is at 6. Yep. We've done a lot of thinking. What was our question? How many students does Martin ask? Have we solved it yet? Nope. Now we need to solve. What are you going to do to solve? Oh, add them all up. Because if I add soccer balls, baseballs, tennis, and footballs, I'll have all the students that Martin asked, right? So what would that equation look like? 7 plus 4 plus 3 plus 6. Do you see any partners of 10 in there? See if you can do that without counting on your fingers or drawing a picture. 7 and what makes 10? 7 and 3 is 10. 4 and 6 is 10. What's 10 plus 10? 20. Oh my goodness. How many students does Martin ask? 20 footballs. I've seen students write that before. They get so confused because there's so many labels, they forget to put the correct label on their answer. How many students does Martin ask? 20 students. That's hard to read because I'm writing in highlighter. Students. You can add the totals of the pictures in the picture graph. Did we do that? We did. You can add the totals of each bar in the bar graphs. We didn't do that because we already did it on the picture graph, right? Did we do a good job solving it? We did. Ooh, how many fewer students chose taco than pizza? How many fewer students chose taco than pizza? Which bars do I need to look at for this problem? Which bars? Taco, pizza. When I'm doing these problems, I circle the data I need to look at. Remember last time I crossed off the data I didn't need to look at? Because I don't care about hamburgers right now. Not for this problem. What do I need to know? How many students chose tacos? How many students chose pizza? So let's find out. We start at the bottom, we go to the top of the bar, we go doot, 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 doot. 4. We go to the bottom, we go to the top of the bar, doot, 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 doot. 7. If we're trying to figure out how many fewer, this is a comparing problem. I'm gonna disappear from this screen because I'm gonna go write. Watch what I write. Which one's greater, taco or pizza? Pizza. Which one's less? Taco. How many tacos? 4. How many pizzas? 7. I'm trying to figure out the part that's different. If this was a number bond, it would look like this. How do I solve when I know a whole and a part? I can count on or subtract, right? 4, 5, 6, 7. How many fewer? 3. Or I can go here and I can say, well, here's taco. 1, 2, 3. I can use the graph and count it. Might be a good way to check my thinking. How many students chose hamburger or pizza? What data are we going to look at? Hamburger, pizza. We already know pizza. Pizza's 7, right? We know pizza's 7. I'm going to use a darker color. You can't see that. Pizza's 7. How many is hamburger? Yeah, 5. So how many students chose hamburger or pizza? What's 5 plus 7? 12. All right. We're going to stop there. Let's go to your assignment for today. Today, we use data in bar graphs to answer questions, right? We looked at the data, we looked at the graphs, and we used those graphs to figure out answers to questions. Your assignment tonight, to make sure you get to your teacher or turn in here at TV Classroom, is page 85 and 86 in your math workbook. You're going to be using the graphs again to figure out answers to questions about the data. All right, meet me up at the camera for our affirmation. Second graders, sometimes we feel like we don't belong. That happens, but I want you to know that that's really normal. And I want you to know that you do belong. You belong in our classroom community here at our TV school. You belong in your community, in your home, and you belong at your school as well. So even though you feel that way, it's important to remind yourself that you belong and you matter. So I'm going to practice it, and then it's going to be your turn. I belong. Your turn. Excellent job. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.